WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Mississippi is one small step closer to a new state flag. Thank you for staying up with us tonight. The Mississippi Flag Commission meets for the first time today. The group has until mid-September to select a new design. As Courtney Jackson reports, they're working to have their pick ready by September 2nd.
Speaker Philip Gunn welcomed the commission members to the meeting and set the tone for the work they're embarking on.
I want you to understand the weight about what you're about to do. This is the last flag that we had existed for, 126 years or so. What we are about to set a course on is going to last beyond the lifetimes of any of us.
The legislation also specifies that the commission will elect its chair. They unanimously chose former Mississippi Supreme Court Justice Reuben Anderson.
I spent 53 years of my career as a lawyer and judge in courtrooms. In every courtroom I walked into, that flag told me I was not welcome. I and thousands of Mississippians have been stiff-armed by that flag.
The call first went out on July 13th, and the public is responding. A criteria list was attached, but the two specifications of the legislation are it must include "In God We Trust" and cannot include the Confederate battle emblem.
We've had roughly 600 so far.
The commission has its work cut out for them, with a quick timeline now made even shorter.
I had a conversation with the staff at the Secretary of State's office yesterday and learned that September 14th is a pretty tight deadline for them to work with all the circuit clerks.
There were some discussions about whether a smaller committee would review and weed through the hundreds of submissions, but the members agreed they'd all like to view them before narrowing it down.
I'm excited. That's what we signed up for.
Courtney Jackson, WCBI News.
Only 6 members were a part of today's meeting. According to the law, Governor Tate Reeves is to appoint 3 members. He hasn't done that yet. Across Mississippi and across the country, people are remembering the life of a civil rights warrior and African-American political pioneer. Charles Evers passed away today. Kayla Thompson from CBS affiliate WJTV in Jackson has a look back at his storied career.
Life itself is hard, so you can't expect everything to be good, but it's been good to me.
Today we celebrate the life of Charles Evers, a civil rights pioneer who will be remembered for his courage in working alongside his brother Medgar Evers to make Mississippi a better place for all people.
They went together to the polls in 1946 to try to vote in their hometown of Decatur, only be turned away by white men with guns. They were very involved in the civil rights movement. I mean, before the modern civil rights movement, usually most people begin it in 1954, and they were involved in, campaigning, trying to get African Americans to vote. And, Medgar was out selling insurance to sharecroppers and trying to get them to vote.
And when Medgar Evers was assassinated in 1963, his brother Charles returned to Mississippi, immediately jumping into action.
And he told me he packed a suitcase with basically all these weapons, guns and weapons, and came down to Mississippi and took his brother's place.
Charles Evers went on to make history as the first African-American mayor in Mississippi since Reconstruction.
He was elected in '69. If it hadn't been the Voting Rights Act, he would have never been elected. And so it was the changes that began to come to Mississippi and the rest of the country because of the Civil Rights Act, and especially the Voting Rights Act in 1965.
Charles Evers ran for governor, and although he may have lost, he opened the door to possibilities for African-American candidates in the future, and his legacy will never be forgotten.
Well, some showers and storms across the area earlier today, but actually turned out to be a really nice rainbow over in Lamar County, Alabama, in Vernon. Take a look at that. Just very vibrant colors. That's sent in to us by Dave. Also in Lamar County, all kind of weather up in Detroit today. One of those beautiful shelf clouds with the sunlight there goes that word again. I cannot pronounce that word. I don't know why I tried to. But the sunlight is bouncing off the clouds there. Beautiful sight to see. Luckily, most of the storm activity has dissipated. We do have a couple of showers on the radar. Looking ahead to the next several days, though, we are going to stay hot and muggy. That means heat index values over 100 degrees at times. We will keep in the chance, though, for some more pop-up showers and storms. Basically, each afternoon the chance will be there. We're also keeping an eye on the tropics and some brand new information hot off the press. I've got more details on the tropical situation coming up in just a bit. Scott?
All right, Trevor, thanks so much. Well, for the second day in a row, the state of Mississippi sees more than 1,500 new COVID-19 cases. Governor Tate Reeves and State Health Officer Dr. Thomas Dobbs are pleading for Mississippians to do their part by wearing masks, social distancing, and not having any type of large gathering indoors or outdoors. The Mississippi State Department of Health reports 1,547 new cases, along with 34 deaths. More than 1,400 Mississippians have died from coronavirus, a number that Dr. Dobbs calls staggering. 7 Mississippi hospitals have no ICU beds available. Now, the virus is also affecting children. Dobbs says 356 children under the age of 1 have been diagnosed with COVID-19, and there are at least 2 pediatric patients in intensive care. The governor is even playing up President Trump's mask usage in hopes of getting Mississippians to follow suit.
The president said that he believes that it's patriotic to wear a mask. So what I ask my constituents is this: if you love the president, join him. Be patriotic and wear a mask. If you don't like the president, then just wear a mask to spite him.
At some point, people are going to start freaking out again. Back in March, there was panic. It was unrealistic panic, and people wanted to, basically lock up in their houses, and then everybody wanted to go party at the beach. I don't know what the mass psychology is going to be like when we decide that everybody wants to panic again, but now let's just behave sensibly, and we won't have to panic.
The governor and Dr. Dobbs also spoke with hospital administrators to issue surge plans. There are 942 Mississippians hospitalized with the virus currently. There could be hope on the horizon for COVID patients, and it could come from those who have already recovered from the disease. Riley Martin tells us about a partnership between NMMC and Vitalant that is helping FDA research.
The investigational treatment allows those who have fully recovered from COVID-19 to donate blood plasma, which could be used to treat critically ill coronavirus patients. Those who have recovered from COVID-19 may have immune-boosting antibodies in their plasma, also known as convalescent plasma. The plasma is collected from donors and transfused to severely ill coronavirus patients at NMMC. The antibodies can help patients recover from the virus.
This is research investigational. We hope it'll work. We're very fortunate to have the opportunity to offer this to people. But in order to do that, it takes a community awareness and community involvement.
And that means teamwork and collaboration from NMMC's Hematology and Oncology Research Clinic. Jeff Micheletti is Clinical Research Coordinator and helps make sure all protocols and regulations are being followed and all data with the investigational treatment is collected.
We capture the information that the investigators capture in the medical record and enter it into a data management system, and that's how the sponsor goes back and analyzes all of the data for the study.
But nothing happens without donors who have recovered from COVID-19. Once they consent and with their doctor's guidance, they can donate plasma at Vitalant.
Plasma donation takes about 30 to 40 minutes, and then we can help the patient who needs it. It is a positive mark in the fight against COVID-19 for the patients that are in the hospital.
Doctors say early results are promising, but more donors are needed, especially as local COVID-19 cases are on the rise. In Tupelo, Riley Martin, WCBI News.
If you have recovered from COVID-19 and would like more information, go to vitalant.org/COVID-free. August is just around the corner, and so is the start of a new school year. Caution fueled by the continuing COVID-19 surge. It's causing a change in exactly how school is done. Now at least one district is changing when school will start. Savannah Gato has more on what could be an extended summer break.
I think most of them going to enjoy a late start. That means a little more time at home. Earlier this week, the Aberdeen school leaders made the tough call to push the first day of school back almost 3 weeks.
The reason behind us pushing back the start date is to ensure that our administrators, our staff members, and the entire learning community in the Aberdeen School District is prepared. With the COVID cases increasing, we just want to take the extra precaution to ensure safety and health of all of our students.
Tamika Shannon, the Aberdeen Chief Academic Officer, says the move underlines the district's top priority.
Aberdeen School District is committed to the safety, health, and well-being of all of our students and all of our staff members. You know, as the CDC and as the Mississippi State Department of Health, as they release new guidelines, we are going to follow every guideline humanly possible to ensure the safety and health and well-being of all of our entire learning community.
The MDE requires school to have 180 calendar days for students and 187 days for teachers, so school could stretch deeper into spring.
But nothing supersedes the importance of the health and safety of our students. So if that means we go a little longer, that just means we go a little longer because we want our students and all of our staff members safe.
That says that the school district is looking out for its children as well as the bus drivers and the parents and grandparents. They got us in mind. That makes a difference.
Aberdeen has decided to offer a hybrid model and distance learning model for students. With the hybrid model, students are on an A schedule or B schedule and will come to school on Mondays and Wednesdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays. Fridays will be used as a parent-teacher contact day and for sanitation. All right, we're going to send things back over to meteorologist Trevor Burchett. Trevor, just kind of the same old carbon copy.
Same old. I'm pretty sure you could do this forecast. It's easy. You don't need a meteorologist.
Let's swap roles.
Let's do it. I'll do it. Just reading. I can do that. I'm just kidding. I know your job is more than reading, but hey, take a look at the forecast. If you like Basset Hounds, you're going to like this one. Take a look at Emily, Mo, Cooper, and Ellie. They're going to be kind of a sour look because I've got more storms in the forecast for tomorrow. Hot and humid still, 91 and to the low and mid-90s with heat index values even higher than that. Your full forecast is right after this. Stay with us.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Some wet weather for portions of North Mississippi and West Alabama today. We'll get to that in just a minute. First, though, I want to get you out to the tropics. We've got some brand new information. Here is the latest right now on Tropical Storm Gonzalo. As of the latest update, 60-mile-an-hour winds, pressure down to 998 as it continues to move off to the west around 12 miles an hour. And that is going to bring it closer and closer to the Antilles and eventually possibly into the Gulf of Mexico. Here's the track on that. We are thinking it is going to strengthen here into a Category 1 hurricane by about the weekend. The good news is after that it gets into an environment that's really not as favorable. So we're thinking it's going to weaken back down to a tropical storm. But still, this path could bring it into the Gulf and possibly bring some impacts to us later next week. Of course, that's a little bit down the road, but we do just want to give you a heads up. We'll be watching this pretty carefully. Also, though, just hot off the press about 5 minutes ago, we have a new tropical depression here. Tropical Depression 8 has formed in the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, winds of only 30 miles an hour, but it too is expected to strengthen and make landfall in Texas this weekend as a weak tropical storm. That would be Tropical Storm Hannah if it does get to that point. Not really looking for any impacts to us from Hannah, but still some folks down south of Houston could experience some heavy rain and possibly some gusty winds. Of course, we are now getting into the heat of the hurricane season. We're going to see a lot more scenes like this with those storms firing up. Right now, locally, though, in Tupelo, we're mostly cloudy, 81 degrees, still very mild and muggy through the 10 o'clock hour. Just a few very isolated showers out there. Most folks are dry. We have been watching, though, one quick little downpour basically right over Pontotoc. Maybe some small hail and gusty wind associated with that. That continues to move off to the north, and I think here in the next hour or so, most of us will be free and clear of any rainfall. Maybe some patchy fog out there early tomorrow morning. Just keep that in mind. We will stay muggy, though, 73 in Columbus and 74 tonight in Tupelo. Tomorrow, warm and humid once again. Rinse and repeat, 94 degrees for the high. Heat index over 100. With the chance for a pop-up shower or storm. We start out mostly sunny, clouds build in a little bit through the day, and then there are those chances through the day for some pop-up showers and storms. So just like today, not everybody going to see rain, but just keep the umbrella on standby in case one of those downpours finds your location. Really, over the next 7 days, we're going to keep the same forecast copy and paste it all over again. Chance for some afternoon showers and storms each day. Temperatures staying hot, though, into the low and mid 90s. Heat index values closer to 100. Overnight lows looking to stay in the low to mid 70s.
The high school football tour makes a stop in Houston to meet a determined team ready to climb to the top of Division 3A.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back, everyone. Baptist Golden Triangle says that it's very short on blood supply. We're talking about blood donation in our Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Sandy Kilburn, medical technologist and blood bank supervisor at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. I want to talk to you some more about blood donation. Here at Baptist Golden Triangle, we transfuse an average of 215 units of red blood cells every month to an average of 92 patients. Recipients include cancer patients, sickle cell anemia patients, patients with other types of anemia, surgery and trauma patients, and premature or sick newborns. As you can see, the need is great, and a reduction in donor turnout can put the blood supply of our nation, our state, and our hospital at a critically low level. Donating blood is a safe process. A sterile needle is used only once and then discarded. Blood donation is a simple 4-step process: registration, medical history and mini physical, donation, and refreshments. Every donor is given a mini physical, checking the donor's temperature, blood pressure, pulse, and hemoglobin to ensure it is safe for the donor to give blood. The actual blood donation typically takes less than 10 to 12 minutes. The average adult has about 10 pints of blood in his body, and roughly 1 pint is given during a donation. A healthy donor may donate red blood cells every 56 days, or double red cells every 112 days. All donated blood is tested for HIV, hepatitis B and C, syphilis, and other infectious diseases before it can be released to hospitals. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, when we'll talk more about donating blood.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Baptist will be having a blood drive this Friday at the Outpatient Pavilion Conference Center from noon until 5. Donors will also be tested for COVID-19 antibodies. It may be a new coach and a new playbook, but it's the same Topper pride. The high school football tour takes a swing through Chickasaw County when we come back.
Here's WCBI Sports with Chris Bolton. WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour is brought to you by Itawamba Community College, Cannon Ford of Starkville, Monroe County Farm Bureau, Max South Broadband, and the Bank of Vernon.
A new era is underway for the Hilltoppers as they enter the 2020 season. With Ty Harden now at Tupelo, now enter Baylor Dampier. Dampier spent the last 3 seasons as offensive coordinator at Itawamba AHS and is ready to bring his style of play to Houston.
It's been exciting just going to a new place. I grew up that way a little bit, and I've been a few different places, and just getting to know the kids, which has been tough during this time, but now that we finally got started, that's been as good as anything.
They come out here and they work harder than we do, and they know their stuff.
He came here and changed the whole program up, doing new things, and we're looking forward to getting better this season, getting past these games.
New faces will be on the field making plays this season as well. Despite graduating a big senior class that includes MSU Bulldog Calvin McMillan, the Toppers' expectations haven't changed one bit.
We're young in spots, but we got a good senior group that I think will help lift those kids up. They'll rise up to that senior group, and the kids expect to win. Kids expect to win, and we expect to win, and that's the plan.
Calvin was a good player, you know what I'm saying, and so we just try to fill his shoes the best way we can. You know, you can't find talent like that every day. Just come out here and win, play hard as we can, no matter who we play though. Don't be scared. We're gonna get out there. We got some free young players. They good. They're gonna come out here and make sure you got it.
Despite several changes surrounding the team, the players wouldn't ask for it to be any other way.
I feel like they'll sleep on us, but that's what we want them to do. We got some fun this year.
We're a scrappy bunch. We got a lot to prove. We had a bunch of people with injuries last year. We lost a lot of seniors last year, but we're ready to work.
The Young Bucks will be put to the test as Houston competes in a tough division that features perennial powers Choctaw County and last year's 3A North half champs, Noxubee County.
Noxubee County, Choctaw, Hatley, Aberdeen, it's a tough league. So if you can come out of the division, you're as prepared for the playoffs as you can be.
Houston hosts New Hope to open the season on September 4th. With the Hilltoppers on the high school football tour, Chris Bolton, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour with Houston High School is brought to you by Houston Banking Center.
Showers and storms continue to be possible each afternoon. Just keep the umbrella handy. Standard summertime fare. We're used to it. Doesn't help our temperatures all too much. We're going to see highs in the low to mid 90s. Overnight lows in the low 70s. But of course, this time of year, you know what gets you? It's the heat index, closer to 100 through the weekend. Scott,
I'm telling you,
copy and paste.
walking from my car to the, my apartment to the car, automatically sweat.
It's horrible. I hate it. Ready for snow.
We all
Where's
do.
it at?
We all do. Thanks, Trevor. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.